And we're back with the next segment of our Poets in 30. We've already talked about the recaps of the fall, about men's water polo being the SCIAC champions for the first time since 2004, the third time finishing the regular season as number one in the CWA polls, and the first time they made it to the NCAA national tournament, which they're playing tomorrow against Stanford University up in Palo Alto. So they're going to be taking on the 6th seed, the Stanford Cardinal. And we'll see what goes on there. We talked about men's basketball. They're 2-2. They have a big game coming up tomorrow against St. Catherine's in non-conference play before taking on Redlands this coming Saturday at 5 o'clock. And women's basketball, they open up their home. They have their home opener tomorrow night at 7:30 against Claremont Scripps. Their SCIAC opener at that, and then they're going to hit the road against Redlands on Saturday as well at 7 o'clock. Now moving into the next portion of our Poets in 30. Want to talk about your Zick's pick of the week, Tyler?
It's that time again, folks. Zick's pick of the week. Just to recap, very first ever Zick's pick of the week. That was 3 weeks ago. It was Steven Rivera, the quarterback of the football team, as he led Whittier to victory over Occidental to keep the coveted shoes at home. 2 weeks ago, it was the entire men's water polo team, as they had pretty much wrapped up the top seed in the SCIAC postseason tournament. And we know now that top seed proved to be fruitful, as they are now on their way to Palo Alto to take part in the NCAA tournament. And so, keeping with water polo, the third Zick's pick of the week for 2013, another water polo player. This time it's Wedge Mulvin, freshman. Fantastic job all season long, but specifically this past week when he won SCIAC Athlete of the Week honors. Well-deserved, I think. And he, just to read off of your article that you put up here, Mulvin capped off one of the most impressive freshman campaigns in the Whittier College men's water polo record books. He helped the Poets land their first SCIAC championship title, which we all know very well up to this point. He totaled 8 goals and victories over Oxy, Pomona Pitzer, and CMS during that championship tournament, and his last goal was perhaps the most important, as it was the game winner in sudden death overtime as the Poets took down the Stags to hang the banner for the second time in the program's history. So Wedge Mulvin is Zick's pick of the week here on week, well, this is the third week of doing it, but the fourth or fifth edition of our show. So Wedge Mulvin, congratulations, you are Zick's pick of the week.
Congratulations, Wedge. I do have to say right now we are almost done with your Zick's pick scroll bar button for the front of the website. So it's going to be probably later this week that we're going to post it, and then I'm going to have a whole separate page where you can click on all the Zick's picks, and we'll have a table with the individual's name, what sport they play, and the stats from that week that they had. So, that's coming up here later this week, and I think it's going to be pretty exciting. And then from there, we can start working on those T-shirts to get those out to those individuals who won.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We're not putting my face on them.
Definitely
that's for
not.
Sure.
No.
No one needs to get my ugly mug on their chest.
We kind of have to work on the design a little bit
on
the T-shirt, and we'll figure it out. But, hey, that's something new for this year. Definitely an exciting time for Zick's pick. And now moving forward from Zick's pick, we're going to talk about some awards that have been given out for some of the teams here from the fall. We had some All-SCIAC teams announced. We'll start off with football. And football landed 3 players, 2 on first team, 1 on second team. The 2 players who earned first team honors for the first time was wide receiver Deontay Jackson, who proved to almost be the most difficult to defend this year.
I would hope so, coming from the University of Oregon.
Yeah, correct. And he proved to be one of the most difficult to defend there. And so he made first team All-SCIAC as a wide receiver. And then as a defensive back, we have Josh Pride, one of the DBs. No one really wanted to throw his way because of how difficult he was. He didn't have a high number of tackles this season. He probably had about maybe 16, I would say, pretty low. But no one wanted to throw his way because of how strong of a DB he was. And then making second team for the first time in his history here at Whittier College was Nathan Poole from San Diego, California. And he made second team All-SCIAC as a defensive lineman. He was one of the captains on the squad, and he's definitely been a cornerstone of that defensive unit. So those are the 3 awards handed out yesterday for football. So that's very exciting. Again, you talked about Wedge Moulton being named the SCIAC Athlete of the Week this past week. And then we also had the water polo All-SCIAC teams announced today, actually. And
where's the article, Lance? I'm looking at the website. There's no article up.
I wanted to try and focus on our Poets in 30 today, so I'm going to be putting that up later today.
Respect.
And so, starting off with some of the guys who ended up winning the SCIAC, who made the All-SCIAC teams, included Goran Matajic making first-team All-SCIAC.
No surprise.
He was also named the SCIAC Player of the Year. as well. So hats off to you, Goran Matajic. Well done. Player of the Year, first time in his history that he's had it. He lost last year by 1 vote. So this time, well deserved.
Certainly.
Then, next up, Wedge Moulton. First team All-SCIAC, and he was named the newcomer of the year.
Let's add that to why he's Zick's pick of the week this week, then.
Exactly. So there you go. Just add it to it. Okay, and then moving forward into the all-conference teams, we have Ryan the Blockade Bernansky, that nickname that you handed him.
Let me interject here, Lance. I ran into him walking the streets of Whittier the other day on his way to school. I was leaving campus, and we ran into each other, and I mentioned to him about the fact that you used Ryan the Blockade Bernansky in an article that you put up for water polo, and he was beaming that name got some recognition. So it's nice to know when you give somebody a nickname,
Correct.
They own it and they really like it. So Ryan the Blockade Bernansky continuing an impressive senior season. Well-deserved award.
Correct. First team All-SCIAC there for him. I'm going to try and figure out the other guys. We also had Marco Zurich, who was named first team All-SCIAC as well for the Poets. We also had Philip Delich, who was named honorable mention. And we also, Philip Delich was named second team All-SCIAC. And Nicholas Beavers was named honorable mention.
So you could just take the entire starting lineup for the Whittier College men's water polo team and transition that to the All-SCIAC teams.
Correct. Yep. So you had Marco Zurich, Nicholas Beavers, you had Ryan Bernansky, you had Delich also. So, you had 4 players there that did an awesome job on top of Goran Matajic and Wedge Moulton making first team All-SCIAC and winning those 2 big awards also for the Poets. So those articles are going to be coming up here in the next few days. So you guys can check that all out at WCPoets.com.
Pardon me, Lance, but all those guys who you just mentioned are juniors except for Bernansky. Is that right?
Everybody is coming back next year. The entire team is coming back. They only graduated 2 seniors.
Who's graduating?
Eric Gonzalez, which is going to be a big loss. He's a 2-time All-American, ACWPC All-American, and you lose John Brown as well.
So I thought Bernansky's not a senior.
Bernansky has a year left. He might be a senior, but he has a year of semester of eligibility left.
So he can come back and play.
Which he is in the fall. I've talked to him. I ran into him in the spot as well, and he's coming back for 1 more semester.
Oh my God!
And then he'll graduate in December, I believe. So
that's scary.
Talk about a team next year that they're going to have.
This is a powerhouse now.
It is, and I hope Justin brings in some other core guys. So once all these guys leave. Because, Goran's going to be graduating next year.
Right.
And, a lot of these other Croatian guys are also going to be graduating. So
it was a perfect time for Rob to go to Brazil the other day to try and recruit some water polo players.
Correct.
The team wins the SCIAC championship for the second time in the program's history. And then on top of that, you've got all these guys coming back, which he knew going down there. So he can just say to all these Brazilian recruits, hey, we've got this fantastic team that just won our conference. They're going to the NCAA tournament. They're all going to be back next year. Get on the train. We're headed to the championship.
Correct. Yeah. Him and Elizabeth Robinson from the advancement office went down for a week-long trip down to Brazil, trying to talk to some club teams down there to try and open up some club sports where it's like a feeder school into Whittier. So they're really trying to work on that, really push the issue to get that done. And it's going to be really exciting, and I hope we can get some Brazilians to come in and play water polo. I don't know why they chose Brazil, but hey, they have their reasons, and, they had some great positive meetings. They said the structure down there is amazing. The players down there are great. So hopefully good things to come here for men's water polo in the future years.
Now, we're running out of time. We've got 2 minutes left.
Correct.
And I know we don't have a guest, and normally with the guests we do rapid fire, but Lance, I'd like to put you in the hot seat today. You ready?
Oh boy. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, this is just, I'm going off the top of my head right here. I was walking here to the studio and just realized, hey, we got to keep the hot seat going,
That's
get
true.
those rapid fire questions.
Every week.
So you are in the hot seat.
Okay,
here we go.
Do it.
First question. Favorite television show as a child?
Chips. With
what?
Ponch and John. I've always wanted to go in law enforcement. I always wanted to be a cop. I always wanted to be a motorcycle cop. So I always used to wake up early in the morning, go downstairs and watch Chips.
Remember
that show?
I was expecting Thundercats or something cartoon-wise.
No, I was always into Chips. Always into Chips. Plus, when I was growing up, there was no TV on weeknights allowed, so I could only watch the news. So that's how I was able to watch Chips all the time. So that was my favorite show. You watched the news
as a kid?
Yeah, can you believe that? I mean, my parents...
Doom and gloom city down there.
Right?
It's all doom and gloom.
My parents, hey, but look how strong our academics were as a family, which was all right, but nowadays, it's okay. Now...
Well, you can watch all the cartoons you want now.
Of course, but yes, Chips would be my favorite show that I watched.
Okay, well, favorite comfort food.
Favorite comfort food?
Yeah, or food you could eat every day for the rest of your life.
Burgers and fries. Any
specific burger place that you like?
I've tried probably every little hole-in-the-wall place around Whittier. It's unbelievable.
Any good ones that stand out?
I like Golden Ox. Golden Ox is really good.
In Uptown, I've never been.
Very good. Very good place. I like Spartan Burger.
I was going to ask.
They actually they had a B a few years back, and now they got an A on their reviews. So
sometimes the B means better.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, my mom always said she only will eat at A places, but she ate at Spartan Burger, and they had a B, and my mom loved it. And she was like, oh, it's awesome. So, you know, I like that place. I actually ate there last night. So, Spartan Burger, there's Golden Ox, there's Tam's Burgers down the street off Painter. There's Five Guys. There's just a ton of random places, like little burger joints that I just love finding. So, I could eat that forever.
Okay. Well, I know what to get you for Christmas then.
Yeah, and my arteries are going to be clogged.
Yeah, geez. Sure. Talking about cholesterol levels here. So come on now.
So if something happens here in K-Poet Studio.
I'm training CPR at least. We'll have to go get the AED defibrillator.
Yeah, right?
No more burgers for Lance. Next question for you, Lance. What's something that nobody knows about you or nobody would guess, like some sort of talent you have or experience that you had? Anything like that?
That's a good question. I'm triple jointed in my fingers.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, so my fingers can pop out all over the place in all three of my joints in my hand. And so that's something new. So I can do like a little worm with my finger and pop my joint out. Ugh. So it definitely feels kind of weird.
No, that's gross. Don't do that.
So we got that. I mean, I've cracked my head open 3 times. I've broken my wrist 2 or 3 times as well. So, I mean, I was very accident prone growing up as a kid.
Seriously.
So, but I was very adventurous, you know. I'm also an Eagle Scout, if people didn't know that.
That doesn't surprise me, though.
Yeah. So,
I can see you tying knots and making sails and hiking and helping old ladies across the street.
Oh, of course, I loved it. And now, you know, I got my Eagle Scout right on my 18th birthday. When I hit high school, I was like, I'm too cool for this.
Right.
I ended up getting it, so that's a huge accomplishment.
Well, you got it before you went to college, and then
correct.
It would be like, well, this guy's an Eagle Scout.
Yeah,
no disrespect to the Eagle Scouts, but I just hope you're putting that energy towards your studies once you get to school.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So.
Last question here in the hot seat, then, Lance. It will be: tell us about your most embarrassing moment in your life. There's got to be one. I know I have one.
Embarrassing moment. Huh. Well, I used to have a mullet in first grade.
That's like a perpetual embarrassing
flat top mullet at that.
Oh my god!
So that was awesome. That was in first grade. I used to get in trouble a lot when I was younger. When I was in preschool or grade school or whatnot, I was on the playground and I was digging through the sandbox and I picked up a dead cat. I found a dead cat and I started walking around with it under my arm and it started going meow to all the kids. And I got in trouble for that. I don't know how. It's not my fault I picked up a dead cat, But
it is, though.
It is. It was pretty funny.
That's pretty twisted.
Or in first grade when I used to, you know, the little color cards you had to change. Go change your card.
You got a
green,
red card?
Yellow, whatever.
I got one red card
when they told me to go change my card, I would go change other people's cards instead of my own. So
wow.
I was a troublemaker.
Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you watch the news on weeknights.
I know, right? I couldn't have any fun at all. So, hey, but there you go.
We got to make fun. Well, that's it. You're off the hot seat.
Yes,
thanks for sacrificing yourself for the sake of the show.
Yeah, now we're going to have to do you next time.
Well, we're getting a guest next time. That's right.
Really?
Maybe get Rob Coleman next week?
Maybe Rob,
December?
yeah, opening up the year. Yeah, I'm sure
we could do that either next week or January when we get back.
Yeah,
we'll figure that out.
Maybe we'll try and bring in Justin Pudwill from Aquatics, next year from Aquatics. Then opening up the new year, we'll try and get Rob Coleman on the show to do his Coleman's Corner. So
Coles,
yep.
Yeah, Coles, lefty.
Cola.
RC Cola.
RC Cola. There you go. Bring RC Cola in. But hey, that's going to do it here for us in the K-Poet Radio studio here for Poets in 30. I'm Lance Frayne. This is Zickle Pickle.
Oh, come on.
Okay, we're done with that.
Wait, you got any last words?
I do. So, next week's going to be our last session until the opening of the new year. So, make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Wednesday, 12 o'clock. Be there, be square. And then opening up the new year, we're going to have one the first week for the next show. So that's coming up. Next week, we're going to go into the Purple and Gold Poet Classic, the 42nd annual Purple and Gold Poet Classic. We're going to talk more about that and what teams are going to be involved in that tournament, which is going to happen December 28th, 29th, and 30th. So that's all coming up next week. But how about you, Zick? Anything else?
My last word is going to be innocuous.
Innocuous.
You asked for a last word. That's my last word. One word, innocuous. It's the first one that came to my mind.
Hey, there you go. Oh, almost forgot to tell everyone, we're going to NFL Network Studios December 15th, Sunday. You, me, the rest of our crew for Poets or for WCSN, the Whittier College Sports Network, we get to go to NFL Network Studios to watch them do the show for NFL Game Day. Yeah, right? It's going to be very exciting, and hopefully we'll do some videos, some pictures, and post up an article about that so everyone can see and how exciting it is. Hopefully we'll be able to see Dion and some important people from the NFL studios who will be there. So, if that's going to do it here for us for Poets in 30, last word was what?
Innocuous.
Innocuous. Oh my goodness, that's Tyler Zickel for you, everybody. I'm Lance Franey. Thank you for tuning in here for another segment of Poets in 30, your Poets Sports Talk Show.